Setting up a survey in your curriculum. First off, go to Courses and then down to a course, or if you already have it open, you need to just go across to Curriculum and then create a new lesson. So I'm going to put mine under Other Media and I'm going to add a lesson here. I'm going to call this lesson Surveys and I'm going to click Save. Now, to create a survey is pretty much identical to creating a quiz, except it's a survey. So we're going to click Survey here and it's going to open up the survey title. We're just going to call this Zenler Survey. And then simply we're going to click Add. Now at this point it will take us into the survey side of Zenler, which allows you to set up and organize your survey. On the left hand side you will see that we have some options. So we can have choices option. We can also have choices via media option. This is images and video. We can have true or false answers. We can also have a rating for them to put a star rating, or down here a scale rating. We also have one last option, which is free text, where they can type in a reply. So we're going to go through each of these 6 types here. Just want to point out the top. This can go back to the curriculum. If we click back to the curriculum, we can go back into the survey here by clicking the edit button inside of that lesson. So on the right hand side you will see that we also have a preview for the survey and survey settings. We're going to look at both of these as well, but let's start with a choices question to start with. So I'm going to click this once and it will appear in here. The first thing we need to do is ask them a question, and then we need to set up our answers for them to choose which option they require. So now I've typed my question in here. Was this course what you expected it to be? We can start to fill out the answers. Once I've filled out this one, I can click a new option inside here and another option inside here. And you'll notice there's no check mark because they have the choice of choosing which one. It's not a quiz. They're just choosing which of the fields you have set up is most appropriate. You can move these by dragging here, as you can in quizzes as well. So you can drag these answers around if they're in the wrong order. And you also have the option to put a media option in here as well. So you can put a little icon in there. And you also have the same option inside here to add a little icon, 145 pixels by 145, to be represented of this question as well. This is exactly the same as you have for quizzes. So down here we also have the answer settings. Are you going to make this required? Can they have multiple responses or a single response? Do you want it to be randomized, the order which attendees will see different sequence of answers for each question? And you can also supersize it or make it bigger. Once you're finished with this particular question type, you can click Save. So let's move on to the next one, which is media, and again this works in a similar way to the quizzes. Okay, let's hit media type, and you'll notice that you have a box for an image to go up here. So I will put in here which is the best option. So here we have entered into the media type question type. What is the best representation? What is the best representation for this course? And now I will just upload a few images in here and give them the option to pick one of them. Please notice again we have answer settings down here: required, single response, randomize and supersize. The first thing we're going to do is click inside of the first one, and you have the option to upload video and images into this area. Okay, let's click add image. Let's go and find this angry face to start with. Let's just put this into position. You have to be careful with the sizing here, because you don't have the option to change too much. So our sizing is a little bit out. It's not a square. The image I've got is a square, so it's just under a square. So when you're making these images, just make sure there's a lot of white space around it, and then you can crop it nicely. So just be aware of that. I'm going to just load it like this for now and click save. And you're going to see the image will drop into there. So to add a new option, we're going to click in here, and we're going to do the same for the next piece as well. So I'm going to choose the happy face this time, and we're going to put that into position. So once again, I'm going to drag this to the outside, but just remember it's not quite square when you create these images. You might have to add a little bit more padding around it when you're doing it. Okay, so that's gone in there now, and there it is. So we have an angry face and we have a happy face, and of course we can add more options as well. So let's click save the changes for that, and that's that question type done. Now the next one we have is true or false. So I'm going to click a true or false question. So which is true? So we're just getting a feedback to make sure that they've taken the course and they understand. So which is true and which is false? So we're going to say, for instance, does Zenler have marketing tools built in ? And this will be a true or false answer. So you can change this. You don't have to have true or false. You could put something different in here. Yes, it does, for instance. And over here we could say no, it does not. So you do have that option as well. Now under the answer settings you have required and of course supersize, as we normally have, and you can put an icon in there for all of the question types if you wish as well. Let's click save, and now that type is done. So next we move on to ratings. So let's go into ratings here and said rate this course. Okay, so we're just going to put that, and you have the option in here of 5 stars, but you can up these. If you look, steps, if we reduce these steps down, these will reduce, and we have a maximum of 10 you can add to there. I'm going to leave it on 5. You can also make it required as well. Very simple. You could also go into here and put a description in if you wanted to, and we could turn and activate that on. So you can write a question description in here and an answer as well. So you have that added option of doing that inside there with the answers as well as the questions. So you can put a question, and then underneath here you can put the answer on that, which is the answer based on what they pick from there. So let's click save to that, and then we're going to jump to the scale one, which is actually exactly the same. It's just for a scale. So we're going to do in here again, rate this course. And once again, they have the option of picking a 1 to 5 scale, and they can go in here and change this to more if you wish, and you can also enable the description inside here, and this will be the answer based off of the description. So it gives you that double flexibility. Plus you can make it required, you can show the labels, and you can show the steps as well. So labels can go in there as well, good, bad or excellent. For this scale type. So this is quite good to have in there as well. So once you click save, those changes will be saved, which moves us on to the last one, which is the free text. So if I click the free text here, you're going to have the option to ask them to write something. So write what you feel the course is missing. So I'll put something like that. And then it's enabling the description there, so they can write that in there. They can write the answers in there. So answers required, and again you've got that enabled description required. The maximum characters, so you can increase the maximum amount of characters if you want more in there or not. And click save changes. So these are the survey fields. Now let's have a look at what this looks like. I'm going to go to the top one and preview it. And you can actually see what it looks like as you're going through these now. So you've got this nice little preview button that shows you. You also can preview as its own tab as well. So you can see how it's going to work when you're working your way through these. And you can pick them and you can choose and see. And when you're finished, you can of course go back. Now it's not forcing me to put any answers in there because it is a preview, but we can close the preview down and it will take us back into this screen, which leads us on to the last part, which is survey settings. So I'm going to put this into preview mode here and just open the survey settings and quickly run through the settings within surveys, which by the way are pretty much identical to quiz. Okay, so first one is general, so we can show the survey title and change it within here. Enable the navigation buttons that go left and right, auto slide on answer selection, enable touch on mobile, which is a very good thing to do. You can enable the retake, which I always like to do anyway. You can see it's showing on this side as I click this, it's showing across. You can enable a review as well, so they can actually write a review. You can randomize the question order and enable a welcome and thank you page. So messages and text will contain the information for the welcome page and all other text. So we're going to go into the progress bar option, which you can turn off or on. You can see it's appearing here along the top. This gives them an indication of how long the survey will take, which can be a very good thing to put in there. Next we have messages and text. So inside here we have the start the survey now, and you can change all of these to suit your particular needs. Next we have buttons and labels. You'll notice on the top that we have for the questions is we have an alphabetical, and on the answers to those questions it is a numerical. So we can change those if we wish. We can change them. You'll notice they're changing here on the left hand side as I change these. You can also change the text for the survey start, continue, these kind of things can all be changed. So you could put move forwards and you'll see that that changes on here as well. So all of these buttons inside here can be changed. And next we move on to the kind of branding side. As soon as we go style edit mode and we click this little button, you're going to see a red box appear. And it's going to give you certain things. At the moment you can see there's a red box, so if I actually change that background color, it will change throughout the whole thing. You can see that changing there. Let's just make it a really bright color so you can see. So inside there we can change that, but if we hover over any of these units we can also change the look and feel inside here as well, including all of the buttons inside of these areas. I can make all this red if I wanted to, and of course if I wanted to get rid of this sidebar I could just turn this off by going none. So I have full control over what is showing inside here. Again, I can change the answer to a red color in here if I wanted to, or the background of that I could change it to something completely different like that. So you can see how you've got the control to be able to go in there and change it. Sometimes it's a little bit fiddly, so you might have to just click once in there and just make sure, and there you go, you can change that text color there and those things. So very powerful inside here, and allows you to do a lot of different functions within the platform as far as branding and making it match your site. So that is how the settings work, and make sure that you do click save changes when you're finished, and those will be applied, and then you can just check those changes in preview mode and it's all set. Like we say in Zenler, make sure that you do go in and test all of this stuff as a student before releasing it. So this is surveys inside of Zenler. As a little note to you, both quizzes and surveys are being completely revamped. So there's going to be a lot of new features, and it's going to be even better for you guys to use. So this is coming out. As soon as it does, this video will get replaced by the new quiz and survey that Zenler is bringing out, which is enterprise level.